Pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Nerf Secrets Revealed. And now, what I would like to say really quick is that I really do appreciate your support, and I do understand that there is a lot of potential going on here, but I'm kind of in a rushed mood at this point. Very rushed, as the end is definitely closing in. It's the start of June already, and I'm less than 2 months away from it being the complete and total end to all that is, based on Nerf Secrets Revealed. I'm personally kind of skeptical about the whole entire thing itself, but you know what? It just so happens that a few new subjects have come into mind. So of course, let's go ahead and bring some of them up. I'm going to get started by talking about the fact that while there are third-party accessories, and yes, those were pretty much mentioned already in a previous episode of Nerf Secrets Revealed, so why don't I go ahead and start talking about some of the blasters that these companies out there have provided, specifically made for Nerfers of all sorts. Some of them actually have been kits, and I could pretty much see why that they're actually trying to use a certain blaster as a base, while at the same time trying to turn a certain blaster into a replica of a real-life firearm or anything else entirely. I will say for certain that there are in fact several different kits out there that I can talk about. One of these kits happens to turn a Strife into a Chris Vector SMG. Another one of these kits happens to be an AWP kit. And there are a few blasters that you could attach it to as well, including a Retaliator or Strife. But in most cases, it all depends on what kind of Nerf blaster that you're using. And there's also the so-called Terminator, which is meant to act like a long shot. I will say that that thing actually looks pretty nice, and it probably could have been one of Nerf's original ideas, but still. Why don't I go ahead and move on over to a famous, more recent type of Nerf blaster out there, supplied by a third-party company out there, known as D-Dart, called the Tempest. It's basically a large ring that encapsulates a bunch of darts in it, as well as a handle in the center. Now that thing is epic. I wouldn't really know if I would go ahead and buy from a third-party company, even though Hasbro does have a lot of approval on this stuff, and they do in fact happen to license some of these things out there, so that way they can in fact utilize them for their own profit, or if they're trying to gain promotion out of them. I've already mentioned a lot about Worker, but why don't I go ahead and talk about Out of Darts? Yes. Because there they actually made their own fully automatic motorized blaster that is super loud, because I have seen reviews on it on YouTube, but I've also seen Coop772 fire a ton of darts out of it. It's essentially called the Jupiter. You just cannot find an original name for it, can you? I could find an original name for it myself, since there already exists a Jupiter from the Rivals lineup. And of course, how could we forget Unicorn Tacticals, Rainbow K25 Springer, as well as the Bullpup blaster that can shoot Stefan darts. And I've already talked about the fact that Unicorn Tactical's website itself had been shut down at some point. So those probably won't count anymore unless you do in fact have yourself some type of blaster out there. Probably the most popular one though, out of all different types of third-party company blasters that are indeed made for Nerfers of any sorts, would be the Spring Thunder, made by a user on a website known as Etsy, ETSY. The Spring Thunder itself is just amazing. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I could definitely pick one of those up if I'm able to find a color scheme from it that could pretty much fit it so well. The reason why the Spring Thunder is just amazing out of all known third-party manufactured blasters out there would be the fact that, well, for one, it shoots incredibly hard, so of course it is made for some of the most expert level Nerfers, including myself, being that I have been a fan of the lineup itself for more than 10 years. Way more than 10 years. And the Spring Thunder itself can actually utilize shotgun shells of many sorts. You can use buckshots, slugs, regular shells, which can supply different elite darts, and you can also use them with Boomco darts and Stefans. Now that is impressive, but I wouldn't go ahead to mention a lot about Boomco or Steffens. So of course, based on Nerf itself, there's Mega Darts, Elite Darts, and Rivals HIR rounds. Now if that's not impressive enough, I don't really know what is, but there is in fact going to be a lot more out there that I might as well talk about here on NSR. So of course, stick around for more if you will. But if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.